I want to get right into it today. Y'all know the drill. Please say, hey, this is a networking platform. Leon's big on this as well. I really just want y'all to connect with everybody, right? I've been doing this for 5 years this year, and Leon's the first. So it took me 5 years to get Leon. So, but happy he's here. We met at Commit Your Code. Leon, obviously, you don't want to give you your flowers. Been a big fan of you for a long time and what you're doing and what you're building. It's very special. All right. I know a lot of people know who you are. Yep. But talk about what you've built with 100 devs, resilient coders, and then I'll dive in, kind of peppering you with some questions.
Yeah, sure. So resilient coders, we're based out of Boston and Philly. We train exceptional Black and brown talent to be software engineers. We've helped hundreds of folks go from kind of minimum wage, no degree, into high growth careers as software engineers. With 100 devs, I had been running programs like Resilient Coders that were smaller, more selective. Pandemic hit. I wanted to be helpful. I'm not a doctor. What could I do, right? And so I decided to launch a program that would help folks learn how to code. And we started off with just a handful of folks. We did a pilot version of it that went really well. We have like 300 plus people that would join every single class. And then for our second cohort, it kind of really exploded. We'd have thousands of people that would join for each class. And that's morphed into hundreds and hundreds, if not at this point, thousands of people that have gotten jobs as software engineers. We're 70,000 plus strong on Discord. So we just try and make a place for folks that are learning, a space where they can learn, be comfortable, and grow.
Yeah, I love that. And there's been a lot of intersection too with 100 devs and Torque, which has been awesome.
Yeah, of course.
Which I'm super pumped about. So where do you think people are really missing the mark right now?
Yeah, I think one, it's the belief right now. I think the biggest thing I see holding folks back is the negativity right now. Of course, we know the market is the market, right? But people are using that as a mechanism to stop taking action. And so, and I just see that at scale, and it's unfortunate. And I understand why, because you find yourself in this bubble. You're not in the Torque community. You're not in the 100 devs community. You don't have that positivity coming in that shows you if you put in the effort, you will get the result out. And so when you don't see effort equaling result, you get burnout. And so I understand a lot of people are burnt out. So the first and biggest mistake you're making is being in a negativity chamber. You have to be around other people that are job searching, that are on the hunt, that are making wins, that are getting interviews, that are getting opportunities, that are getting jobs. So when you put yourself in that kind of environment, you start to go, maybe I can do it too. Maybe it isn't all doom and gloom. And then you take more action. People didn't have right titles. They weren't talking about themselves in the highest. Yeah.
It's when I spoke last week in Amsterdam, the thing I say the most is people who are getting jobs aren't necessarily better than you. They're doing the small stuff better than you.
Exactly. The small stuff compounds. Every little thing opens a door. And the more doors you can open, the more opportunity can come your way. And you have to sweat the details. Your resume needs to be good. Every part of that online presence, whatever that first line of defense is, you need somebody in under 6 seconds to go, this person is a software engineer. And I won't get in trouble if I put them in front of the nerds.
Yeah, 100%. I actually scheduled a tweet for today. It said, if we're being honest, most people only read the top third of your resume.
Correct. Yep.
And so that top third has got to be dialed.
And the funny thing is too, you can do this. Like, you don't need to, like, it's not some like secret magic arts. Just give your resume to your mama, give her 6 seconds, and then tell her, what do you know about me?
Dude. I talk about, I actually pull a lot of this on the marketing side and kind of branding and content. Like, if my 70-year-old mother doesn't understand what I'm saying or what I'm writing, then it's wrong. I want to go back to what you were saying, Lauren. I think it's so important. In my live yesterday, we kind of touched on this too, about just the power of getting into these communities. So can you talk about why everybody should be in a Discord, be in a Slack, be in something right now? I know you already mentioned it, but can we kind of go maybe another?
The positivity aspect is really important. You need to be able to see people winning. You need to be able to see people getting to where you want to go. And you need real boots on the ground information as to what's working.
That.
This changes too quickly. The things
So
that people are focusing on changes too quickly. And if you're just relying on your experience, you only get so many swings at the bat, right? Like you only get so many times to interview, only so many times to shoot your shot. But what if you could learn from 100 other plus people that are all shooting their shot at the same time? How much faster would you grow to hear their experience, to hear the things that worked for them, didn't work for them, to be able to then send them a message and say, hey, what about my resume is different than your resume if that worked for you? Right? Like there's just so many things that you get out of a community that you just wouldn't get if you're by yourself. You don't get the encouragement, you don't get the compounding of experience, and you just feel isolated. And so my biggest thing when it comes to jobs is networking. I've been saying this for 10 plus years. I think it's the thing that opens the most doors. I think it's the thing that gets you the most opportunity. But networking is also with your peers. And then as you grow, you all grow together. And then that becomes such a rock solid network.
Yeah, absolutely. So I really want to get, is there anything else that you really want to get across right now?
I know that a lot of folks are in the suck right now. We call it the trough of sorrow. And I know that when you're in the trough of sorrow, it's really hard to see the end. And there's also this like very weird thing about the trough of sorrow is at the very, very end, it gets worse before it gets to the wiggles of false hope and then into the promised land. And so if you are in the trough of sorrow, I understand the feelings, I understand the pain, I understand what you're going through. And I beg you to join a community that can help lift you out of the trough. Whether it's Torque, whether it's 100 Devs, whether it's something that's local to you, make sure you're surrounding yourself around people that can help you through it. And then realize it does get better and that it gets better by you taking action. Does not even matter what that action is. Just start getting momentum so that eventually you can stumble upon the right thing. Now, there are some right things that I think you should be doing. I think you should take an approach which means that you shouldn't be going into your days like an accident. Have a game plan for each day. Know what your goals are for that day. Know what small steps you are taking that will eventually lead you to the job. We tend to hyper focus on the end goal, which is getting the job, but we'd be way better served if we had things that were in our control each day. I'm going to engage with 10 people on Twitter. I'm going to engage with 20 people on LinkedIn. Like these things that if you do them enough, lead to opportunity, but are fully in your control so that you don't burn out.
I want to be able to obviously plug what you're doing. What's the best way to get in 100 Devs and resilient coders and all that?
You can always just search 100 Devs on Google, 100 DEVS 100 Devs. We'll pop right up. Click that link. Join us on Discord. Once you join Discord, you're joining a community of 70,000 people. We're live pretty much every Tuesday and Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. Hundreds of people that are sharing their real experiences of what it's like on the job search right now.
I love it. That's awesome. Well, y'all, thank you again for this. Thank you all again for showing up. Leon, thank you, my friend, so much. Stay on so I can say bye to you backstage. But y'all have a fantastic one. Love to see you in the Torque Discord. Love to see them, obviously, in the 100 Devs Discord. Those balloons are killing me. Y'all have a great Thursday. Last guidance counselor of the week. Y'all have a great one. Take it easy.
Peace, everybody.